Haruto's journey to the royal capital began with a bit of mischief as he sneakily hid Lisa's horns and tail. Lisa, however, felt a bit uneasy without her distinctive features. Meanwhile, Marianne informed Laius about a letter from the Margrave, and Laius, always the betting man, wagered that it was about Haruto heading to the royal capital. He cheekily remarked to Marianne that she didn't need to personally deliver such news. Laius, determined to understand Haruto's strength, had been intensively honing his magical and swordsmanship skills. Despite his efforts, he found Haruto always slipping further from his grasp. Marianne, noticing the change in Laius after his defeat, playfully called him out on it, though she admitted he was as cocky as ever. Laius, annoyed, countered by accusing Marianne of having a soft spot for Haruto, leading to a blushing retort from her. Amidst this banter, they discussed the rising threat of the Church of Lucifera, a cult with extremist ideologies spreading its influence and posing a threat to the kingdom. Rumors even implicated Laius's mother in supporting them, adding a layer of mystery to her sudden change in behavior 5 years ago. With tensions escalating, Marianne believed that Haruto, with his extraordinary powers, could be the key to changing the situation. Laius, considering the Black Knight's reputation for defeating a dragon, contemplated seeking their help. Unexpectedly, the queen entered the room, momentarily choking Marianne before revealing as a jest. She instructed Laius to learn everything about the Black Knight from Haruto, and to keep it a secret from everyone except her. Switching to Haruto's perspective, we find him comfortably residing in his jungle house, awaiting the day of his scheduled arrival at the capital. Flay persistently urges him to reconsider his decision, but Haruto firmly orders her to cease the act. As Haruto and Lisa arrive near the capital, they encounter an evil bison threatening travelers. In a swift transformation into the Black Knight, Haruto saves the day, displaying both strength and compassion. His actions leave onlookers astonished, especially a girl who is amazed by the magic she witnessed. Haruto introduces himself as Shiva, the enforcer of justice, and continues to showcase his extraordinary abilities. Upon reaching the capital, Haruto faces the bureaucratic challenge of paperwork for entrance, leaving him exhausted. Assigned a room with Lisa as his attendant, Haruto summons a door and retreats to his jungle house briefly. Returning, Lisa, and Char embark on a mission to understand the city's layout. In a surprising turn, Char declares their time together as a date, leaving Haruto flustered. Later, they encounter the same girl Haruto saved earlier, who senses his enormous mana. Haruto, in a moment of humor, downplays his mana level, leaving the girl puzzled and Char intrigued by the mysterious encounter. Haruto's mischievous plan continued as he summoned his clone to take the proficiency test on his behalf. The clone, with the intention of flaunting the test and getting expelled before the entrance ceremony, found himself recognized by a professor upon reaching the test center. Despite his attempt to deliberately answer all questions incorrectly, he ended up answering some correctly to avoid suspicion. After the test, the professor led the clone to the mana assessment room, where Haruto heard voices but couldn't see anyone. To his surprise, he looked down and saw a tiny lady who introduced herself as Tirieta Lucianel, a researcher of ancient magic at the school. Tirieta warned Haruto that she would send him back home if he ever got on her bad side. Haruto's excitement at her words shocked Tirieta, and the assessment began. As Polkos, the professor, handed Tirieta the test paper, Haruto, in an unexpected turn of events, destroyed the magic crystal orb with his immense power. Fearing that destroying her precious orb might lead to his expulsion, Haruto braced himself for Tirieta's reaction. However, to his surprise, Tirieta was amazed by Haruto's performance, and Polkos tried to convince her that Haruto's mana level was 2, though Tirieta remained skeptical. Tirieta appreciated Haruto's answers to the questions and, impressed with his abilities, asked him to join as her research partner. Despite her insistence, Haruto sternly denied the offer and left the room. The clone filled Haruto in on the details, but both Haruto and his clone remained determined to stick to their ambitious plan of getting expelled from the school. The intricate web of events continued to unravel as Char equipped Copy Haruto with a revolver for self-defense. Copy Haruto was tasked with attending the entrance ceremony in real Haruto's place, and both the real Haruto and the copy shared all their past memories. However, the copy lacked magical abilities, making the revolver a crucial tool for his protection. After the ceremony, Copy Haruto encountered a group of extroverts led by Vice President Schneidel. Attempting to remain unnoticed, he decided to silently pass by, acting completely invisible. However, the extrovert leader demanded that he stop and scolded both Copy Haruto and the white-haired girl, whom Haruto had previously saved from an evil bison, for not saluting him. Schneidel attacked Haruto, who feigned a stomachache and was subsequently attacked from behind. In a surprising turn of events, Copy Haruto, previously acting weak, suddenly stood up, shocking everyone. Although the attack didn't hurt him, Copy Haruto decided to play along, pretending to be hurt by Schneidel's assault. The white-haired girl approached, apologizing for involving Copy Haruto in the situation. Schneidel, ready to launch multiple attacks, was stopped when Copy Haruto pulled out the revolver, unleashing a powerful burst of light and allowing him to escape back to his room. Copy Haruto then shared the details of the encounter with the real Haruto. Meanwhile, the real Haruto found himself being pursued by the pint-sized Professor Terieta, who invited him for tea. Reflecting on the school's atmosphere, Haruto pondered the presence of outlaws who initiated fights without reason. In the evening, he received a letter challenging him to a duel, adhering to noble etiquette. Haruto, bound by family honor, couldn't reject the duel. Observing the lady who delivered the letter talking to the white-haired girl, Haruto used his magic to witness their entire conversation. At the Marcus Hafen estate in the center of the royal capital, the white-haired girl pleaded with Schneidel to call off the duel. Copy Haruto's earlier attack had left its mark, and Schneidel's companions worked to heal his injuries. In a dramatic entrance, Haruto, clad in his black knight costume, appeared as the light returned, handing the white-haired girl her clothes. Haruto chastised her for being defenseless and lacking self-respect. He then confronted Schneidel, delivering a righteous punishment and clamping wounds while ordering him to call off the duel, the clamp tightening as Schneidel attempted to remove it. The school atmosphere surrounding Haruto continued to buzz with his infamous reputation for defeating Hafen's Laius and the one-shotting of Lord Schneidel, the son of Margrave Zenfis. As Haruto hurriedly ran towards his room, he encountered the persistent pint-sized Terieta, who once again pressed him to join her research lab. Terieta elaborated on the school's curricula, offering a choice between the night course, focusing on magic application and training, leading to service in the Royal Army, and the researcher's course, centered around developing new forms of magic. The chaos escalated as Laius and Marianne joined the scene, each insisting that Haruto join their respective research labs. The three engaged in a comedic struggle over Haruto's allegiance. To add to the chaos, the white-haired girl appeared, prompting Terieta to accuse her of attempting to steal Haruto. In a clever attempt to escape the trio, Haruto used the white-haired girl as an excuse, claiming to have plans with her. After excusing everyone, Haruto left with the white-haired girl. As they paused, the white-haired girl questioned if Haruto was the same person she met yesterday. Haruto, attempting to stay calm, activated his alert mode when she sensed his defense barrier, surprising him. The white-haired girl, demonstrating a unique ability to differentiate between the real Haruto and the copy, revealed her desire for friendship. She shared her story of being abandoned and raised by a kind priest in a monastery, expressing her eagerness to learn the basics of society. Haruto, deciding to use her in his plan to get expelled, learned that she had enrolled in the research lab of ancient magic, prompting him to join the same course. As they became friends, she disclosed her name, Arisphila, a name that held significant weight as Flay later revealed the past of the demon king Arisphila. Flay, Char, and Lisa, meanwhile, were taking a bath, yearning to spend more time with Haruto. Char, feeling a connection to Haruto, decided to go watch despite Haruto forbidding Flay from joining, anticipating she might complicate things. Flay unveiled the truth about the demon king Arisphila, whose dream was to create a coexistent paradise for humans and demons. Sacrificing himself for his ideals, the demon king was reborn from the same Flash princess who had once killed him. Char learned that the white-haired girl, now named Iris, shared the same name as the demon king. Haruto, choosing to call her Iris, took her to his room to sign up for classes, and in a comedic revelation, Char exposed Haruto's true goal of getting expelled. As she left, Haruto hid the teleportation door, ensuring Char's departure. Haruto began his day preparing for school, only to realize that Char, in her unique way, had chosen extremely challenging upper-grade classes for him. Seeing this as an opportunity to expedite his expulsion plan, Haruto decided to intentionally perform poorly in the tests. The next day, accompanied by Iris and Lisa, Haruto entered his class, C class. Lisa couldn't determine if Iris was a human or a demon, and according to Haruto, Iris was human. As the first class began, Haruto aimed to display incompetence, intentionally making mistakes. However, even with these deliberate errors, he ended up being the top scorer. To avoid suspicion, the professor moved Haruto to Class A before the next lesson. There he encountered Mrs. Belcom, an expert in elemental theory. Haruto, Laius, and Iris caught Mrs. Belcom's attention, and she threatened to kick them out if they couldn't answer her questions. Mrs. Belcom tested the students on their elemental knowledge and was impressed by Iris' proficiency, especially in chaos. Despite Iris being asked to join the research lab, she declined. Mrs. Belcom posed a challenging question to Laius, which he couldn't answer. Surprisingly, Haruto's response aligned with an advanced mysterious research project generations ahead. Mrs. Belcom invited Haruto to join her research lab, but he declined. The mysterious research was attributed to White Owl, revealing Char as the mastermind. A welcome party organized by Tirietta took an unexpected turn when Schneidel, bound and lying on the ground, showed up. Tirietta explained that Schneidel sought her help for a strange spell cast on him, the same spell Haruto used disguised as Shiva. Tirietta began questioning Haruto about the non-elemental magic, suspecting him. As tension rose, the real Haruto, dressed as Shiva, appeared, disassociating himself from the accusations. Tirietta, skeptical, questioned him, and Haruto, in Shiva's persona, claimed to be here to punish evildoers. Tirietta tried to bind Shiva with earth magic, but he effortlessly broke free, leaving a lasting impression on Polkos and Tirietta. Professor Tirietta decided to throw a welcome to the lab party for her new recruits. Haruto, ever the curious one, questioned Polkos about his seemingly inseparable bond with Professor Tirietta. In response, Polkos humorously suggested they might be stuck together, perhaps due to some magical mishap. He then revealed his past as a teacher in the Luciano household, where Mrs. Tear was once his student. Sharing tales of Professor Tear's brilliance as a child, Polkos painted a vivid picture of her insatiable curiosity and successful experiments. Mrs. Tear's achievements were so remarkable that she earned the title of Sage, the highest honor in modern magic. The conversation took an awkward turn, leaving Haruto with more questions than answers. Suddenly, the inebriated Iris stumbled towards Haruto, expressing gratitude for joining the lab while managing to thank him before dozing off in his lap. As Iris slept peacefully, Professor Tirietta took a moment to discuss Iris's interest in ancient magic. According to the professor, Iris possessed rare mastery over every element, and the speculation was that she sought to increase her mana level through ancient magic. Amidst the slumbering characters, tensions rose elsewhere. Schneidel, angered by Shiva's interference in a duel, ordered his assassin units to target Haruto, Iris, Polkos, and Professor Tirietta. However, their attempt was foiled by an invisible wall surrounding Professor Tirietta's house. In a surprising turn of events, Haruto, with his quick thinking, took down one of the assassins, leading to a series of doors appearing in the air. Shiva, in black costume, confronted the leader of the assassins, revealing that the real Shiva had outsmarted them. Confronting Schneidel in his house, a confrontation ensued, and Schneidel, attempting to cover his tracks, injected himself with a mysterious substance, transforming into a monstrous figure. A fierce battle unfolded, with Haruto realizing the key to victory lay in whittling away the oversized parts of the monster. Following the intense encounter, a conversation between the real Haruto and a copy ensued, leading to Haruto's departure. The next day, Flay, Lisa, and Char discussed ominous signs in the royal capital. Flay demonstrated his strength by dealing with thugs, and the group gathered information about the strained relationship between the king and queen consorts. Char, suspecting a hidden student council or an evil syndicate, decided to take matters into her own hands to relieve the burden on Haruto. Meanwhile, Haruto, silently observing the developments, recognized the need for diligence in monitoring potential threats, especially those involving the queen and the suspected evil syndicate.